What is good, everybody? I see a few of you are already logged in. You've been waiting for the Fryar Place this week. This is the place where the conversations are fire. I'm Irving Fryar. I'm your host. Yeah, good to be back. Good to see all of you. Listen, throw your name, say who you are in the comments so I know who's watching. We're going to have some fun tonight. No, I don't have a former NFL player or former professional athlete. He just went out. He was in the back room. He just fell out of the back room. Hopefully, there he goes. He's logging back in. I'll put him back in. There he is. I don't know what happened to him. But anyway, what's good, y'all? I don't see anybody yet. Throw your name up in the chat and let me see who you are, so I can know who I'm talking to. But listen, gonna have a great show for you. A lot of great stories tonight. I'm not even going to, let the cat out of the bag yet. We'll let you know when we come back from this commercial. But y'all hang in there for a minute. Listen, say hi. While you're watching the commercial, type your name in there. Say hi. Share us. Like us. Subscribe to us right here at the Fryar Place. Every Friday night from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I guess it's standard time. I don't know. We're in daylight. Are we in daylight savings time now? Yeah. I don't know how any of that works. I'm not a meteorologist. Almost became a meteorologist. But y'all, we're going to watch this commercial. We'll be right back.
In Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, there's a slightly slower pace of living. That's also where you'll find the home of Stoltz Fish Structures, where quality, integrity, and world-class customer service are more than just a way to do business. It's a way of life. From our humble beginning over 40 years ago in a small building to the modern 65,000 square foot facility of today, we've remained at the forefront of our industry. Everything from gazebos and sheds to garages and pergolas and everything in between.
Oh yeah, and we are back. Let me see if I can. I think I muted him. Guest is in the green room. I think I have him muted. Let me see. Oh my goodness. Hopefully he's there. Let me assign him again. I see him moving in the background. But y'all, listen. Just say hi. I'll explain who he is when we bring him on. His name is Patrick. PJ Dolan is in the house. What's going on, PJ? I can't. Did you mute yourself?
My what?
Yeah, okay, there you go.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah,
okay, you're good. Oh, put your hands up again. There you go. Listen, everybody, this is my dude. Some of you know me. You know me from, the church arena. You know me from the sports arena, the football arena. But this guy, he owns a bar in Delco. Let me just read this. Third generation bar owner of Dolan's Bar in Ridley Park since 1954. It goes back to the 40s in Williamstown, New Jersey. They had the most People's Choice Awards given of any bar in Delco. That's pretty good, man. There's a lot of bars in Delco. The best place to spot a celebrity. Dolan's. You might see me there, yeah. Best dive bar. What does that mean?
That's kind of like being the tallest short person in the circus. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good thing, right? Is that good?
Sure.
Okay, all right. Best dive bar. All right. Name most Delco bar. Best Irish bar. Yeah, you got we got what's called day coming up pretty soon, right?
St. Patrick's Day, Monday.
St. Patrick's Day is Monday, yeah. Garage Beer's best sports bar in the northeast part of the United States. Y'all, this is third generation owner. He's a friend of mine. At Dolan's on Tuesday nights is where Hollis Thomas and myself would do our show, Vetted. I got my Vetted show on. I got my Dolan's hat on too. And he's just been phenomenal, a phenomenal friend, phenomenal host with us there at the bar. And I had to have him on the show today because we've sat and we've had numerous conversations. And this cat not only is an important guy, he's a smart, intelligent guy. He's a guy that's relevant. He's a family man. All of those good things. But this cat's got some stories, y'all, that we'll get into them later. But he's got some stories. You got to keep it clean. Got some stories that are just unbelievable. So y'all hold your hats. There's a bunch of you who are on right now, but you're not saying anything. I can't see who you are. Put your name in the comments. Y'all say hi. Let me know who's here. I got like 22 people on my ticker right here, and nobody's saying anything. Y'all say hi. At least say boo. Say shut up. Say something. Just say something. But listen, man, let's get right into this conversation. I want to start with the fact that, yes, you're the owner of a bar, third generation. That's a great thing. But you're a culinary educator of high school students.
My day job,
You were at Simon Gratz High School in North Philly, and now you're in Ridley High School?
That's correct. Yeah, I started so my background, this all started from quitting football in high school.
Quitting football, so you went from football to cooking.
Yes. I went to a high school in Dolan my father went to. It was a prep school. And I was a legacy kid, but it was all rich kids down there. And you've been to Ridley Park. It's not exactly the main line, you know what I mean? But we're a proud town. So I go down to Archmere where my dad went, and I went from being the rich kid whose father owned a business in Ridley Park, living above it in a 2-bedroom apartment, to being the Delco Trash's old man owned a saloon when I went down to Archmere. That's where Joe Biden went. There's a lot of people down there, congressmen's kids, and that type of thing. So I went out for football and loved baseball. Loved baseball growing up. Didn't know football well. I liked watching it, but didn't know it well. And I was a heavy kid, so my dad was always told, like, don't put him in weight leagues because he's gonna get beat around. He's gonna be playing with older kids.
Right.
So I go down there and it's just a nightmare. I'm a nightmare on the field. Blah 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 blah. So I quit football, and my old man said to me, he's like, look, if you're not gonna play a sport, you better sure as hell go to work. So I started cooking in a restaurant in Maryland where we had a place down there. And I fell in love with cooking. And I went to the Johnson & Wales when I graduated, Archmere, and like all these kids I went to school with went to Ivy League schools and whatnot. Full rides were perfect on their SATs. Not this guy. This guy went to a cooking school
I was
in
going to
Providence,
say
Rhode Island.
that would be hard to believe that you were perfect on your SATs.
No, not me. No.
No. I know you said you weren't, but just knowing you, I'm like, I don't think you really cared that much about SATs.
So, one more quick funny story about that. My graduation. Now, I think there was like $5 million in scholarships for 120 kids that graduated in that class. So we had, I think it was a ringmaster or some type of a ceremony. Oh no, it was graduation, and they were reading off all the scholarships that were awarded, and they asked everybody not to applaud because there were so many of them. Well, the only one that I had received was $1,000 scholarship from the Pennsylvania Tavern Association, and the place went nuts. Like,
because it was a surprise to everybody.
Full ride like Princeton, Harvard, $1,000 scholarship from the Pennsylvania Tavern Association. Dolan, oh, it's great. It was awesome. Right. So
that's crazy, man. That's crazy.
So I went on to Providence, Rhode Island, and I spent 4 years up there. Got a degree in culinary arts, became a culinary arts fellow, and then food and beverage management bachelor's. So then I went out and worked in the workforce, took over the family bar, and then had a little bit too much fun until about my 31 years old, and said,
"This sound like all of us." Listen, Eddie Casper's in the house. What's going on, Eddie Casper? Everybody finally showed up on my screen. Cheryl Stevens is in the house. Yes, no problem on Facebook. Having a problem commenting on YouTube. Well, I don't know what that is. It doesn't say we're having problems on my screen, but keep trying, Cheryl, if you can. There's some other comments here on YouTube, so it may be your internet, maybe, Cheryl. Don't know. Timothy Block is in the house. Shout out to you, dog. That's one of my frat brothers. Billy Bell's in the house, loving my destiny, always supporting the Fryar Place. God bless you, sister. Mike Fuji, I don't know how to say that last name. Good God from Zion. There's a whole lot of letters. Mike, happy Friday to you too, bro. Stephanie Marie, what's going on? Keenan Hammond, Or Harmon, I'm sorry. Keenan Harmon's in the house. What's going on? Thanks for shouting out, y'all. Dottie Curran Giebler? I think that's how you say it last
Oh,
name.
Dottie Gibbler. Yeah, she's
Giebler? Okay.
she's like a
Dottie,
sister almost.
you like a sister? Okay. So she must have
Yeah, yeah,
saw you on Facebook. Um,
sure.
and you're important. You know, you talked about the people, you know, clapping because you got the minute scholarship. But listen, I can remember it was a Tuesday night and we were getting ready to do the show. We were standing outside the bar, hadn't gone in to do the show yet. We're standing outside, Hollis and myself, and Keith, we were talking to you, and you were getting ready to get into a limousine and go up to, I believe it was New York, because you were on some panel for political reasons.
Oh
Was it?
yeah, it was a Fox News.
Yeah, Fox. What was that, man? Because how they
So,
pick you? How did you get picked? They sent a limousine and everything, man. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, this cat he's got something else going on that I don't know about. He's at another level other than just this bar.
I can't turn down a camera, or and in the bar business, it's more like getting your name out and getting the bar being relevant has become what I do very
Okay.
well.
Uh-huh.
I love promoting the bar in different ways than normally. Like, I mean, anytime you can go on Facebook and or anywhere and see advertisements where it's like 250 Coors Lights, nobody cares, right? You can get that. You can get that product. You can
Right.
get that product at Acme for $1, but I have to sell it for more because you're paying for an atmosphere and you're paying for where you're at, right? And you
Right.
got to pay for the bills and all that. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
regardless, I was coming out of Simon Gratz because I lost so many students in my class from gun violence. And a guy walked into the bar. This is during election season. I want to say in 2020, it was midterms.
Mm-hmm.
And a guy walked in the bar from the Washington Times and interviewed me about where I am politically when it came to things. Now,
Uh-oh.
being a business owner, I don't like to put those things out there, right?
Right. Right. Right.
Independent is what I'm typically registered as, and I like to keep it that way because I don't want to ever upset anybody for what I might vote at the ballot box. I think it's a personal thing.
Yeah.
So I told him about what the climate was like in North Philly at the time, and how these kids that I was falling in love with were just not there the next day because, and it didn't even have to be what they did. It could be their friend said something wrong. Next thing you know, 15 minutes later, somebody turns around the block and sprays it up, right?
Right.
And I was just getting very annoyed with it. And I guess it just caught on from that point. And then I was doing Fox News National like a week later with Mark McCallum,
Yeah.
and it just kind of steamrolled from there. And
Mm-hmm.
anytime they need somebody to sit in a panel, they always give me a call, and I don't turn it
Oh,
down because I'll put a Dolan shirt on and
there
I'll
you
go up
go.
and yeah, I was up there for election night. It was election night. It was
Was it
when that was
election
going
night?
on.
Was it election night?
Yeah,
Yeah. That's right. It
which
was
was
election night.
wild to be
Yeah.
up there for that,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Woo!
crazy.
Fox News on election night. Crazy.
Speaking of putting on a shirt or Dolan's jersey or Dolan's shirt, Beth Jurgen says, "Love the Jergy sweatshirt." PJ,
Yeah, let's go. So we
is
partnered with
this
them.
somebody who's related to Cam?
That's Cam.
Is that Beth Jurgens is Cam's wife?
Oh, maybe. I
Oh,
don't
so
know. Is it?
you're not sure who it is? Okay, Beth Jurgens, whoever you are you related to Cam? Are you his wife? Or you his mother? You his sister? Or you just got the same last name? But she says she loves the Jergy sweatshirt.
KURGNS?
Yeah, GURGNS.
Let's hope.
GENS. Yeah. It's spelled the same. Dory White,
Okay.
shout out to you. All right. You got a bachelor's degree, like you said, food and beverage management. Spent some years consulting, but
Yep.
you were doing some work on a casino for casinos, right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's,
we did a
that's
lot
what
of
I
work
wanted to
with
get to, because I know you got some stories about.
Ah,
Is that the wrong place to
so
start?
I was,
So
yeah.
tell us about your experience with it says mainly casino openings. So you
Yes.
worked for casinos in the culinary area, in the managing, I guess, of the culinary area.
Yeah, mainly front of the
Just
house in casinos, not back of the house, not kitchen. Yeah.
okay, but
So bars, yeah, waiting, all that stuff.
just for the openings though, because the openings are
Yeah,
crazy. Yeah.
they are. It's the best thing in the restaurant business, Herb, is the honeymoon of opening up any place. Everybody likes each other. Nobody's sleeping around with each other, at that point. And everybody has the best of intentions at that time, and everything's fresh. It's new. There's no broken down equipment. And whoever has drug problems, it's not really relevant, or it's not out in the open at the point. You know what I
Not
mean?
yet. Not yet.
Yeah, right. Oh, they rear their ugly heads. Don't get me wrong.
Beth is Cam's mother. Hey, Mama Jurgen.
Oh,
Good to see
awesome.
you.
Let's go.
Thanks for joining in. I texted Cam a little while ago. I told Cam before the season started he was going to have a great year, that they weren't going to miss a beat at the center position. He's an Pro Bowler, first time starting at center, and a Super Bowl winner. Great start to his career, huh?
Absolute.
Go Big Red and go
man.
Birds. Go ahead, tell the story, PJ.
But while she's in here, let me get to that. So we sell jerky. We partner with them.
Yes.
And thank you, Mrs. Jurgens, because you're probably the one who sends all these out to me. I buy everything basically on your merchandise rack. We partner with them and Garage, and we do the center console, which is a jerky and a garage beer for $11.
Nice.
And people love it. And
nice.
the beef jerky is fantastic. It really is.
The jerky is wonderful. Matter of fact, I think I got some in the bedroom right now, right in my nightstand.
Man, it's got to be right there, huh?
In the nightstand. Yep. Reach over.
Fuel up.
Reach over in the middle of the night.
So,
finish the story. I'm sorry, I disrupted you.
Yeah, no, all good, all good. So I opened up Margaritaville as a bar manager, right? And this is a great story. The first weekend we're open, there's Landshark is across the boardwalk, and I'm managing Margaritaville's bars, and there's literally like 100 bartenders that I have underneath of me. And the manager from Landshark gives us a call and says that the beer taps aren't working. I said, what do you mean? They're brand new. So we go over and I pull on the taps and there's no beer coming out of the taps. I'm like, what's going on? The gas is fine, which it's either the gas or the beer. The beer's empty or the gas is out.
Mm-hmm.
And then we start running lines and going through it. And then as we're going, now, mind you, Landshark sits on top of the boardwalk onto the beach. We're going underneath the boardwalk and we start seeing bodies. Not dead bodies, sleeping bodies. The homeless of Atlantic City went underneath the boardwalk, snipped the lines, and drank all the beer out of the kegs.
Oh.
There were 30 heads underneath the boardwalk, literally just drinking, peeing, and sleeping.
Wow.
And the cops were like, we lock them up. I'm like, no, just let them sleep it off. And we're going to cover these lines up. But it was like in food and beverage, you see everything, Rev. You see everything. But when you take and you put into account people losing all their money, it's a whole different ballgame.
Right.
And you see some crazy, crazy things down there. Atlantic City was an education all on its own. I loved it. I'd do it again tomorrow if I didn't live so far away. But it was nuts. Margaritaville was a great time. I think it was the largest grossing restaurant in the country at the time when we opened it up. Wow. So we're doing big money. Yeah. Big educational experience for me.
You also lived in Ireland. I wanted to catch that earlier or go over that earlier. Yeah. Mention that to you earlier, man. What was that like? How old were you when you were in Ireland?
21 years old. I graduate college and broke up with my girlfriend and said I'm going to go move to Ireland. And
wait a minute. Wait, your heart was that broken? You had to move out of the country?
I mean, no. I mean, I think
you were 21. You were grown.
Yeah, I was grown. But I just identify with Ireland so much from being, an Irish born kid. I thought I was Irish until I moved there, and then I realized that I was American as anybody else. I'll never forget my first night in Ireland. I had this girl that I was hitting on at a bar, and I said, my grandmother was Irish, and she looked at me and she says, and not in so many words, "Who gives a damn? So's mine." Bro, and I was like,
listen,
point.
You're the only person I know that got their heart broken, lost their girlfriend, and moved out of the country.
Well, I didn't do it because of that. Like I always wanted to live there.
But you did it.
I did do it. I did do it, and I was asked to leave the country after about 9 months.
Really?
Yeah, I worked for a hotel and they owned the rights to my work visa, and it was like the UN. Ireland was like, it was called the Celtic Tiger at the time because they were the only English speaking country to join the EU that was coming on. So all the software and pharmaceuticals went into Ireland. It's the only society in the world that went from the plow to the computer skipping the tractor. So they went from
Wow.
agrarian to technological skipping
Right.
industrial.
Right.
So it was just mad money in that country at the time. And there were people from, I was waiting tables with doctors from South Africa because there was no work down there. You know, it was just, it was a great experience. And, but the people we work for and how they do things over there, it's a class system. And I wasn't having that, man. Like, I was like, no, 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 no. Like, they just talk to you wrong. Like, if people don't love this country, go move to another one and tell me that it's not the best thing in the world. You know what I mean? Like, and Ireland is it's a Western civilized society. Okay, go live there for a while and tell me different, right?
Right.
So
So they asked
I
you to
quit,
leave.
and everybody else quit, and we all lived in a hostel. And I started working under the table, and you know, we're the out of town people. They didn't want us in the town because we quit our jobs, and my work visa dried up, and I went to work under the table, and they sent the guard after me, and they sent me home.
Wow. You're
Yeah, it was cool though, man. I had a great time. If you don't like to drink or golf, don't go to that country.
yeah. Well, that's they
Yeah,
golf over there and they drink over there.
don't go.
So let me shout out to a few people. Eric Teal is in the house. Delco Jesus. Is it Jesus or
Ah,
is it Delco Jesus or Delco
it,
Jesus?
it's Delco Jesus, the one
Okay.
and only.
Who
Yeah,
is it?
he's a little celebrity out here. He's a character, man. Love him to death. He's
So
a
we
very
got
big cheerleader of ours.
Burmese 777 Omar here from Bermuda. He's in Bermuda. Been a big fan of your career since you were playing days with New England Patriots. Ooh, in the 80s. Yeah, that's a long time. And when you decided to play for my Eagles team, our Eagles team, yes, been an Eagles fan since 79. Welcome, Mr. Bermuda, Burmese 777. What was I going to ask you? There was something else I was going to ask you. I forgot what it was now. Oh, we'll get to it. I'll
All
remember.
good, all good.
I'll remember it. But listen, tell me about the story. Y'all, listen, y'all.
Oh, you want to hear some Dolan stories?
No, but tell me about, no, I want to hear about this one specifically. This one specifically about the one-legged man fighting a one-armed man. That happened in
Yeah,
Dolan's? That happened in
did. This
Dolan's?
is a notorious story. I think it's from the late
How long?
60s.
Oh, 60, late
Late
60s?
60s.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's been here. This bar's been here since '54, and it was in Jersey for 10 years prior to that.
Right.
So there was a one-legged and a one-armed guy used to come in, and you can imagine how this progresses.
No, I
Um,
can't imagine it, man. I can't even see it. A one.
oh, sure you can. Think about it. You know, and you've been in that bar. It's how do we say testicle busting, right?
Well,
Is what
no,
we want to be
I
calling.
can picture the bar and I can picture people in the bar, but I just can't picture a one-armed man and a one-legged man. You know, it's just.
One arm man kicked the hell out of the one-legged man. Apparently,
I'm sure he did. The
yeah.
one leg, well,
And you can see how
the one-legged
this
man
would
does.
go up to it.
Well, yeah, he doesn't have any balance. One-legged man, he
Right.
has no. Yeah, he has no way of leveraging himself while he's trying to maneuver and dodge and then throw punches and try to impose his
And
will.
listen, my father-in-law, God bless him, has a prosthetic leg from his knee down due to a motorcycle accident. So it's not that I'm not insensitive to this. Um, but I'm sure the prosthetics weren't exactly great back in the 60s either. You know what I
No,
mean?
no, they were heavy and wooden,
So yeah, it
probably.
just started
Yeah.
off where they were arguing. Well, at least I can hug my wife. Well, you know, at least I can do this and do that. And then it just progressively went out into the street.
But
And
did he say at least I can hug my wife? Oh my
oh, I think it
gosh.
got a little bit. I think it got a little bit more detailed than that. If you can understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, that's a notorious story from this bar.
So they went
There's a couple
outside.
of
They
them.
fought outside. They didn't fight
They did,
inside.
they did, and apparently the man with the one leg was in the gutter at one point.
What?
So I don't know. Yeah, listen. This is before cameras, thank God,
Thank
because
God.
it probably would have been everywhere and been
well,
embarrassing for quite a few people.
well, no, Dolan's would have been, really famous.
Yeah, it could have been viral. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, we've
First
had some crazy stuff.
first
Like
generation, this is what I wanted to ask you earlier. You're the first generation in 5 generations not to be an illegal bookie. I don't think I was supposed to say that on air, was I?
Why not? They're all gone. I'm the
They're
only
all
one
gone.
left, and
Okay,
I did
so
not.
they
Yeah,
can't do anything about. So what's this? What's the details or what's the history with that? I should say the history
I think bar owning and bookmaking went hand in hand, right?
back in the day. Back in the day.
Yes. And prior to, well, my grandfather, my father were both bar owners. My great grandfather and great great grandfather were soda shop guys or pharmacies.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that went hand in hand with that as well too. All Irish, descendants or immigrants, and sports gambling and horses was huge. You
Yeah.
know, my dad got arrested when he was, I think, 21 years old, and was the first one to beat a bookmaking charge in Delaware County.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, because he realized that the judge was on the take by the suit that he had,
Okay.
and his lawyer had pointed it out,
Uh huh.
and they
Uh huh.
wiped it clean. Yeah.
Wow.
So, but I
Okay.
mean, I grew up in that world. All that. I went to the track as a kid. My father used to own horses, and probably did some horse race fixing back in the day. If I was it's an interesting world. It's an underworld. It's a dying world too. Like the horse, like we went to the track that one time together,
Right.
right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And that
Mm-hmm.
was a great day there. But go there when there's not an event, man. It's sad.
Really?
It's a dying art,
Wow.
no
Wow. I
doubt.
know when I was growing up, my dad would go to the horse races. There was a track, I guess it was in Cherry Hill on
Oh, Garden State
Route 6,
Park.
Garden State Parkway, yeah.
Yeah,
Garden State Park track, yeah. That's gone now. But that was pretty
yeah,
popular back when I was a kid. My father would go over there frequently. I think every weekend he
yeah.
was over there at some point, and he
Right.
used to bet on the horses and like watching the horses.
I think it
Um,
burned down twice.
did it burn down twice? Probably
Yeah.
on purpose,
First
huh?
time they rebuilt it, and they had that beautiful. They had night races there. Do you remember that? It was the Phoenix Room. It was the
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
like a steakhouse that overlooked. It was
Right.
beautiful, and then
Right.
it burned
Yeah.
down again.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
You got the bar. Are these tariffs going to have an impact on you? Liquor's supposed to
Oh
go up.
no.
You know, they're saying everything's going to go up, but they're saying liquor is going to go up in particular.
Listen,
How's
nothing
that?
goes down.
Well, yeah, I know it all continues to go up, whether we have tariffs
Yeah.
or not.
To be honest with you, Herb, I haven't heard much about it.
Uh,
But then again, it's not like my nose has been in the news or in industry magazines. Just so busy with the Eagles and St. Patty's Day coming up, I don't really get into that stuff that much. It's kind of like my own little world here. But
well, if it's
I,
going
I would
to
imagine
impact
it
you,
would,
I was
especially with
going to say, if
imports.
it's going to impact you, you better get into
Sure. Yeah,
it.
yeah. Well,
So,
nothing I can do about it, right?
well,
Just
you
raise
have to do
prices.
something about it. Yeah, you got to raise your
Sure.
prices. You got to pass it. If
And
you
we
have to pay
tried.
more,
Yeah, we try to hold back on price increases until we absolutely have to. So like we'll eat price increases for 2, 3, 4 years and then raise it $1, right? Because we
right,
don't want to.
right.
I hate doing change at the bar like quarters and dimes and all that. So we always do
Mm-hmm.
dollar increments. But
Okay.
there's always that lift where people are like, "Oh, full dollar." I'm like, "Yeah, man," but I have not had an increase since before COVID, dude. Like, what do you want me to do? So
It's like a family there. Dolan's
it
is a
is.
family. When I go there, every time I go there, I see there's always other people there, but there's
Yeah,
always the crew that's there.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'll tell you what, man. When you and Hollis came in for the vetted this year, it was really cool to see just the dynamic of you coming in initially not knowing anybody, and then by like the NFC Championship when you were in there for that game with
Know
Tank,
everybody. Yeah.
bro. I mean, I had tears in my eyes when you were talking about the bar, and it was cool, man. It was cool to see you become one of us,
Yep. Yep.
and vice versa. It was a great experience, man. This is by far my favorite Eagle season. I mean, for obvious reasons, the Super Bowl and all that, but becoming friends with you and
Yeah.
having the
Yeah.
podcast here, and it's been a whirlwind, and I'm so grateful for it. I really
Well,
am
we
grateful
appreciate
for
you.
you.
Yeah, I appreciate you too, brother. It's that's why I'm having you on because
Yeah,
you're a great person. You're a great
thanks, man.
friend. You're a great businessman. You're a great
Thanks.
acquaintance. It's a pleasure to be around you. My wife is very picky when it comes to
Yeah, so is
making new
mine.
friends. Yeah, when it comes to making new
Yeah,
friends, and they get along. They get along fine.
yeah,
Serena gets along with you, so it's all good, man. I love it.
they
I
won't.
love it. So another This
You're
one
like, what's the
is
more stories, right?
this is I can't say it the way you wrote it here, but you had a habitual phantom pooper who used
Yes.
the pooper on the he used to poop on the bathroom floor and in the
On the
trash
bar.
on,
Ooh,
on the
ooh, you
bar.
got it. The glamorous life. Ooh, ooh.
He used to poop in the bathroom on the floor and
Well, we
in
don't
the
know if it was a
trash
he.
cans. Huh?
We don't know if it was a he, Reverend.
Oh. So
Uh-huh.
you never caught the person. You never
Uh-uh.
found out who it
We
was.
we
How long
never
did it last?
fingered the pooper.
Really? How long did it last?
Yeah. I think 3 or 4 times. And it was about a year and a half ago. No, 2 years ago, St. Patty's Day.
Really?
Yeah, the guy comes in to clean the next day in the ladies' room,
Oh.
in the trash can.
Oh. So it just happened one time?
There. Then it happened again in the men's room in the sink.
Oh, Lord.
And then it happened in the mop bucket outside.
You think somebody was angry?
Yes. And I have my suspicions.
You have your
I
suspicions.
did.
You
Yeah.
don't want to say on TV or on the show.
I will say the person is long haired. That's all I'm going to say.
Long.
Yep. Yep.
And if they
Yeah. I
pooped
mean,
if they
you want
pooped
to
in
talk
the
about
sink, they
legs.
got long legs too.
Like, so when we initially saw it in the trash can, we're like, how does this happen? Two girls going to the bathroom at the same time, maybe?
Oh,
Right? You can see how that would happen, right?
oh
Like,
no,
St.
no,
Patty's Day, place
no!
is mobbed.
Go outside.
Do something.
Yeah.
Oh, God. The
So so
Phantom, yeah,
so
Phantom
what are you
Pooper.
doing for St. Patrick's Day? I'm
We
not,
gotta,
obviously I'm not
yeah.
Irish. I'm not
You're
as,
not?
no, not yet.
Okay.
But I don't do anything really to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. You are actually, wow, this is a first. You are the first person of interest in my life who's Irish.
Get out of here.
I lied to you not. I mean, I've met Irish people before, but I've never
Right.
befriended an Irish person. So every time St. Patrick's Day pops up, it's never been, oh, my friend
Yeah,
over
never been a
here, they're
thing.
doing this, yeah, they're doing this, and
Yeah,
it was
understood.
never something that entered into my mind about asking, what do you guys do on St. Patrick's Day?
Yeah. So, it's the Irish American culture it's an interesting one. Like last night I went to the St. Patrick's Day parade dinner. We had a friend of ours who's being honored in it. And it's a lot smaller community than I thought it was, even though this region of Pennsylvania is the largest Irish descendants per capita in the country. And Ridley Park is like the second or third in the
Really?
country town. Yeah.
Really? Wow.
It's Ridley Park, I think Glen Olden, and if I'm not mistaken, Saugus, Massachusetts. It's one of those towns in the North End in Boston. But
Mm-hmm.
it's a tight knit people. When Irish people are very proud of their heritage. They're very proud of what their family went through, and I think a lot like the black culture. There was a lot of struggle,
Mm-hmm.
enslavement, that type of thing. Not to the extent that you guys went through, but it was a smaller amount of people. Like we're talking like 2 million people lived on that island, but now I think 30% of the country, 22% of the country has some type of Irish lineage.
Okay.
But so there's a lot of pain and a lot of struggles
Mm-hmm.
that their ancestors went through, our ancestors went through. Then there's pride there, and they're humorous. It's a humorous culture. People are very funny. They find there's a lot of dark humor. So it's a strong community, and we keep traditions up as much as we can, just like any other culture does that are really into it.
Right.
But St. Patty's Day here is usually our biggest day of the year here, and we have 94 or 93.3 WMR broadcasting live from 3 to 6, I believe. Our good buddy Brent Porch, who's a DJ, comes in here a lot, so he's going to be broadcasting live. We have three bands. Nick
What do you mean when
McGrath.
you say broadcasting live? He's doing a radio show or he's just
Yes.
DJing? He's doing a
No,
radio show.
no. Yeah, radio show, DJing, and doing that from the bar.
Okay.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
so we have Nick McGrath is playing. We have Danny Hilferty, who's a local musician, and we also have
Wow.
Joe Grosso and the Ramblers, and they're like you saw them the other night, that Friday night you
Oh,
were
that
in,
was the
or
band. Okay,
Saturday.
that was the guys there.
Yeah,
Yeah, they were good. They were good. It
yeah.
was just two
And
of them.
then we
They had a
have
track behind them. Yeah. So
yeah, and
they
we
bring the
have
whole band.
yeah. No, it's just the two of them, and then we also have bagpipes and drums and all that coming in, which is wild. It's like Irish step. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say, so besides the bagpipes, I know bagpipes are Irish. Do you
Yeah,
got what kind of music do you like play Irish music? Because they weren't
we
playing
do.
Irish music the other day when I was there.
No, no.
That
And to
wasn't
be
Irish.
honest with
That wasn't
you,
Irish.
hidden secret, I'm not too fond of it anymore,
Oh.
except for St. Patty's Day. And all my bar owner buddies will be like, "Why don't you have this?" And I'm like, "Dude, like I like it St. Patty's Day, but the rest of it, I'm like, oh my god." And a lot of that is, I've lost a lot of people in my life, and it
Hmm.
reminds me of them. You know what I mean? So there's an emotional attachment to that. So I only put up with it the day of. People play it on the jukebox, but like it's not something I search after. And there's not a lot of Irish bands in the area where I could afford to pay for one of those on that day. You know what I mean?
Right,
Because
right,
we're
right.
talking they jack it up big time on
Yeah,
that
yeah,
day
yeah.
because it's the biggest day of the year for them.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah.
we'll be mobbed. We'll have probably 1,000 people come through here that day. A 30
Really?
stool bar. That's a lot of. Oh yeah,
Wow. Wow.
yeah,
30 stool bar. Yes, a lot of people coming through there
yeah,
with 30
no doubt.
stools. Um, you just mentioned it. You said you lost a lot of people. You just lost your chef.
Yeah,
He
man.
just passed away.
Yeah, our boy Pork Chop, Nicky Kingsbury. So he was a bodybuilder his whole life, and he was a carpet guy. He was
Hmm.
known as the carpet guy in Delaware County.
Hmm.
Funny, God, was he funny. He he came to me about 2 years ago and said, "Hey, I want to cook in the bar. I'm done doing carpets." And I'm like, "You don't know anything about cooking." And he said to me, he looked me right in the eyes. He goes, "You teach it."
Teach me, man. You teach
And I
it.
said, "You got a point,
I'm gonna
Chop. You
learn
got
it.
a point."
Pork
And
chop.
Irv, when I tell you the
Pork
reason
chop.
why his name is Pork Chop is about 20 years ago. I'm bartending in the bar, and he gets drunk, and he goes home, and he doesn't remember what happened. And he said the next day his daughter said she saw him in the kitchen naked eating a pork chop.
I'm sorry.
So that's what we called him from that point
So
forward.
his daughter
Pork
gave him
chop.
the name Pork Chop. Yo, Pork
That's
Chop.
it.
He
That's
drunk, he
it.
naked in the kitchen,
Yeah.
eating a pork
God,
chop. Good God
I'm gonna
Almighty!
miss him
I can
so much.
only
He was so
picture.
funny.
Yeah, he just was it
And
just
that
today, yesterday or today he
yeah,
passed away.
this
This
morning
morning.
he passed away in his kitchen. In his
Yeah.
kitchen, same kitchen. But
Wow.
like that job, a bar kitchen is the hardest thing to staff probably in the country when it comes to jobs because it's a thankless job. It's
Right. Right.
usually not glamorous. Bars typically don't put food out where you're getting acclaimed for.
Mm-hmm.
So we dug into that, and we pretended like he was a French chef, things of that nature. That he was a James Beard Award winner, which is the highest award you can get. But to his credit, like he came from hard manual labor, so it's not a tough transition there.
Right.
But to
Right.
his credit, the consistency of his food coming out of the kitchen, like I did the menu and I taught him how to do it, but the consistency of it was the best that I've ever seen in my entire history of being in this business. A burger that you got, Irving
Oh yeah.
Fryer,
Yeah. Doug, he made a
was the
burger that
same as
just.
anybody
Yeah.
else,
Yeah. Yeah.
anytime.
Yeah.
He would be miserable at times because he was overworked and he wanted to
Right.
work more because he wanted to make money for his family. He
Right.
loved his family so much, and he worshipped the ground his wife walked on. And but to his credit, he would always put out a phenomenal product, and I don't think I'll ever be able to match that. And
No.
God bless him as a friend
Yeah.
and as an employee and everything. God bless you, Chop, wherever you're at.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you're meeting St. Pete going through that,
Oh, he's
going
he's
to the
he's in
fence.
heaven, man. He's a good dude. He's a good
Yeah,
dude. You'll see him again.
no doubt.
Christopher the Moose Cunningham is in the house. What's going on, Chris?
Oh
Cold
boy.
Jesus. Oh, you know him too, huh?
Oh, that's the Moose.
That's
You know
that's the
Moose.
Moose. Okay, that's the Moose.
Yeah.
Oh, Oh my gosh, yeah, the Moose. I know the
Uh-huh.
Moose.
Uh-huh.
He's writing all the time, like he's here talking. So when you
Yeah.
see him in person,
I don't think he can knock you off your chair through the internet though, right?
no, he can't knock me on my chair. No, nope, nope, can't do it.
What's
I'm
up,
stuck
Moose?
here. Vincent Capriati's in the house. James X Man Monsanto
Oh,
is in the
Jimmy. What's
house.
up, Jimmy?
Sarah Dehaney, I think that's how you say your last name, Sarah. Sarah Smile. If I said it wrong, Billy Bell,
Oh,
Vincent, Eric Teal. You know who that is? You know who Sarah is?
Steve Costa, who we were with Saturdays, watching right now.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna see Steve tomorrow. I'm not gonna say
Oh,
why,
okay.
but I'll see Steve.
Nah,
I'm
I'll wait till.
going to where am I going to Springfield, PA tomorrow?
Okay.
Yeah, be a
Not too
little.
far away.
It'll be a happy day tomorrow. It's a happy day tomorrow.
Good, good. I'm glad to
I,
hear that. Steve's a
oh,
great guy.
he's watching right now. Steve's watching
Yeah,
right
he
now. He's
is.
on. Yeah, thanks for being
He's the
on, Steve.
best.
Ed Crawley's in the house. Yep. Dolan's the GOAT bar. James X Man.
Uh-oh.
So I know you're a teacher, man. What's it
Yeah.
like? What is it like today, teaching our young people? What is
I
it like
think
for you?
I got a lot of opinions on it. I see a lot of skills and common knowledge that we were taught growing up that these kids don't have now. Like a lot of them don't know fractions in high school. They can't read
Oh,
an analog watch. They don't.
what?
They
Whoa, whoa,
don't
whoa,
know.
whoa, 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 whoa!
I'm
They
not
can't.
kidding you.
What? They
I'm not
can't.
kidding you, Reverend.
It
I'm
has to
not kidding
be
you.
digital for them to read
That's
it, so they
correct.
can just read the
I'm not kidding
numbers.
you. I
Get
would
out
say
of
probably
here!
80% of the kids. Yep.
Can't read it. Oh my gosh!
I can tell you right now, in my classes, there are probably and listen, we have a good school comparatively. Um, Most kids have a tough time even determining 50% being less or more than one whole. So like I always break it down to money. Like if you have 50 cents, what's more, a dollar or that? And oh, they get that. They get a bad rap for being lazy, although some of them are. But I will tell you this much: these are kids with their faces in screens, right?
Right, right.
And being in food and beverage and in the hospitality industry, there are kids that crave human interaction.
Of
And when they
course.
get it, they're superstars, superstars of what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love kids that are you tell they have the riz, the charisma, as they say,
Mm-hmm.
but they excel at human interaction because they're not used to it, and it's something new to them. It's a whole different world with this younger generation than what we grew up. We were the kids that were outside. We were the
Right,
kids whose parents smoked.
right,
We didn't have seatbelts, right?
right, right.
Um, the '70s and the '80s kids. We were different than them, and I think they get a bad rap, but I think it's warranted, and I'm worried about what we're putting out with kids, and I have some really really brilliant kids in my classes, and there's some things that they just don't know that we did growing up. So
Wow.
take what you may, man.
You know,
Yeah,
I've talked to other teachers, people who are, teachers, currently teachers, teaching different grades, whether it's elementary school, middle school, high school, and a lot of them are frustrated. A lot of
sure.
them look forward to the day that they can retire,
Yeah,
because it's just, you gotta also undertake almost the parenting side as well as the educator side, because the parents, for whatever reason, aren't doing the parenting. They're sending the kids
that's
to the
exactly right,
school
Irv.
for the teachers to do that part of the raising of the youth, and that's obviously not the way it's supposed to go. But
It's the excuse generation.
oh,
Everybody
okay,
has an
yeah,
excuse for something. So I hear the A word a lot, anxiety.
mm-hmm,
I have
mm-hmm.
anxiety, and a lot of
The
these
kid
kids
the
have
kids say that
IEPs.
the kids say that to you.
Oh, absolutely.
How do they
So
know they have anxiety? Who told them they had anxiety? How did they learn
thank
that?
you.
Where did that come
Thank
from?
you.
I never
Thank
even
you.
thought about anxiety, or I didn't even knew what anxiety was, or even how to say it when I was a
It's
kid.
life.
Yeah, that's
How,
life.
how
Deal
many
with it.
times did how many times did your family tell you, like your mother or whoever was raising you, saying like, "Mom, I'm sick." No, you're not.
No, you're not. That's
Or
right.
yeah, like I
Get
don't
your
feel
butt
like.
up.
Yeah, you
Get your
do.
butt up and go to church. Get your butt
Right.
up and go to school. You ain't
Thank
staying in the
you.
house. Yeah, you're not gonna
I
lay there.
All these kids, they have IEPs, which are they're basically plans on how to educate them,
Hmm.
and a lot of them have anxiety in there. Where let's say some of this is warranted, okay, where they get very stressed out in certain situations. Here's my pushback on all that, especially teaching high school. they're not going to care about your IEP or your exceptions in the workforce.
Right. No. No. You listen, education is supposed to push you. You're supposed to struggle. You're supposed to strain. You're supposed to it's supposed to stretch you so you can
Yes.
grow. So
Yeah.
you're going it's supposed to cause a little bit of pressure. When I was
Yes.
getting ready to take a test as a youth, it was pressure. But I didn't
Yeah.
fold under the pressure. I did what I had to do to overcome the pressure to pass the
Absolutely.
test, which
Yep.
was spend hours studying, memorizing, so on and so forth. That's what you got to do to
Absolutely.
overcome that challenge. So, I mean, but that's what school is all about. School is about challenging the mind of the kid
Yep.
so the kid's mind can develop and learn skills that they're going to need when they leave school and enter into adulthood. It's,
Yeah. And this isn't something at my school per se. This is something as a generation at large with the educational system.
mm-hmm.
Is them, they have this, and that is like you're saying. Those things are in place in order to get them across the finish line
Right,
and to
right.
prepare them for the real world. But a lot of it is like you're saying. The parents, they 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 lean on that, so these kids continue to use that as an excuse afterwards, and they're not preparing themselves like they should be. And I'll tell you what, there's great educators that are very, very frustrated with what's going on. And it all goes back to parenting, Irv. You're absolutely right.
Yep, it goes back to the
You got to
parenting.
be involved. You have to be involved.
Parents do a better job. Listen, your kids, we didn't ask, I'm saying we as a child,
Yeah.
kids don't ask to be born.
No,
Now that they are born, guess what? They are your responsibility. You don't even have to like them. You don't even have to like them. But that child, no, seriously, you don't
you're
have to like
right.
them. Kids are tough to listen. That's why grandchildren are so. Grandchildren are grandparents' reward for making it through parenthood.
Yeah.
That's
No
what
doubt.
grandchildren are. They're the parents. Grandparents get rewarded with grandchildren for making it through parenthood. But
Sure.
the kids, when you have a child, that child is your responsibility. And you have to train that child. You have to raise that child. You have to make sure that child gets an education. You have to feed that child. You have to clothe that child. You have to house that child. That's your responsibility.
You're 100% right.
Otherwise,
I will also
don't
say
have
one more
kids.
positive.
Hmm?
I'll say one more positive thing about this generation. They are way more empathetic and accepting of people than we were. They
Oh
don't
yeah.
bully like we
Oh
did.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in fact, they'll bully people who bully, which I like to
Right.
see. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I like
Yeah.
to see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. They don't as far as my opinion, they don't see color, they don't see race, they
Right.
don't see they
Yeah.
don't even see gender sometimes.
Whole other
that
conversation, right?
that's a new thing.
Yeah,
So
no
so
doubt.
so listen, let's get back to Dolan's.
All
Because
right.
you and I can talk all night long. You had a bomb threat on on St. Patrick's Day. Does that ever come up into your mind on St. Patrick's Day when you're at the bar? You had a bomb threat on St. Patrick's Day. Who gave the bomb threat? Was that some people who are anti-Irish?
Probably competitor.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, so I was a kid at the time. I was probably 8, and the bar was mobbed, and my parents were there. My mother used to talk about it all the time up until the day she died. And they got a threat into the police station in the town. Police all showed up, and I remember it happening. And the chief of police just tried to get in the front door and just shook his head. And he says, "There's not even room in this place for a bomb. There's so many people in
What?
there." Yeah, I mean, it was a different time too. You know what I mean?
He said
Pre 9/11, that type of stuff.
there was a
Yeah,
there was a
yeah.
bomb threat, and the police officer came to the door and saw how many
Party
people were
goes
in the
on,
bar,
Irv.
and he said, "There's not enough room in here for a bomb."
Party goes on. I think
Wow.
the chief probably understood that it was probably a competitor doing it and doing it to ruin the day for us.
That's crazy, man. So they
It is.
didn't even check, didn't even go sniff,
Nope.
didn't bring a dog in, didn't do anything.
Nothing.
Wow. That wouldn't
But that
happen
was the
today.
80s, man. That
Yeah,
was the
that wouldn't
80s,
happen
right?
today. There's no way that would happen today.
No.
No, no,
ATF
no.
would be here.
Yeah,
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 no doubt.
yeah. Bomb squads and FBI and CIA.
No. Yep.
Man,
Absolutely.
you had somebody die in the bar?
Oh yeah, yeah. This is one of my favorite stories. So we
Oh,
had
it's
a
funny.
guy
Whoa,
who
whoa,
used to
whoa,
live
whoa!
in.
Somebody died. That's your favorite
Well,
story?
listen, for my time, but
Why is it
there
your
was a.
favorite? Why is it your favorite story? One of your favorite stories?
You're gonna find out when you hear it.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
We had he was a watchmaker from John Wanamaker's, and
I,
he was such an alcoholic that he would come in.
oh
Again,
Lord.
this is before my time. That he would tie a tie around his neck to get the first couple drinks up because he would shake so much from the DTs every day. So he
What?
would put, yes, and that's a thing that people used to do, especially when men wore ties all the time.
What?
If
What?
you had
What?
the
What?
DTs,
What would the tie do?
steady your arm to get the drink up to your face.
Oh, okay. I got you. Wow.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because you a true alcoholic like shakes very, very badly until they get the first couple drinks in them.
Right.
But I mean,
But you're.
that's when you're very, very progressed. Like today, that wouldn't happen at
I
a
was gonna
place like
say,
Dolan
what?
because
Why would you serve a person like that who's an alcoholic
this is
like
the
that?
time period, Herb.
Yeah. You
Like
can't.
this is the way these places were back in the day. You know what I
Wow.
mean? Shot in a beer bar, man.
Wow.
Filled with smoke. Women weren't allowed in. You know that type of thing.
Wow.
Um, yeah, there was women entrances in bars in Philly until the 70s.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
I didn't know
So,
that.
guy comes in the bar. My dad's bartending, and he sees him walking across the street, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And he's got a couple of his buddies in there. One of them, a guy named Hutch, and he sees this watchmaker come in, and he knows what he drinks. He drinks a glass of port wine, a double rum and coke, and I believe a beer. Three drinks he would order. So my dad turns around to get the drinks, and hears the door open, comes in, puts the drinks up, and he realizes he's like, "Yo, where's Jim or whatever his name is?" And Hutch goes, "He's on the ground." So they
Wow.
call the police station or whatever at the time. I don't think it was 911 back then. So they come out and they resuscitate the man. So yay, they resuscitate him.
Yay.
Then, then they put the oxygen mask on him to keep him going, and oxygen tags out, bro. The tag's out, right? Guy
And
dies.
that's funny.
He
And look, you're
dies.
funny. I'm laughing. You're laughing. That's bad. We're laughing like
Of
that,
course,
man.
this is 60 years ago. It's like,
Say
everybody associated with this is gone.
he said by now he'd be gone anyway. Huh?
Oh, yeah, yeah. So now everyone's like, oh my God, blah, 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 blah. Hutch throws his overcoat on top of the corpse, right? They show up to pick the body up. 2 o'clock in the morning, Hutch realizes, he goes,
Where's my coat?
where's my car keys?
Oh, my car keys
They
with
were
the
in the
dead
coat in
body.
the morgue.
With the dead body.
They had to go down to the morgue, down the street, in the hospital to get the car keys.
That's why it's your favorite story.
Off the stiff, as they used to say
Off the
about people who
stiff.
used to die. Yeah, remember that? Stiff?
Off the stiff. Yeah, you guys are crazy, man.
Yeah. Yeah,
Off the
that's a great
stiff.
story,
Let's
man.
see who else is on here. Tainted Rose is in the house. What's going on, Tainted Rose? Chris Cunningham, Delco Jesus. Mental health was hijacked by people wanting an excuse when it's supposed to be the reason you figure out you have an issue. So you can figure out the way to get around and over your issue. Way to go, Delco Jesus. Give him a hand. We'll see you. My mama is on. She said that's crazy. My mom said that's crazy, that story. My mom is watching right now.
I'd love to meet her sometime.
Nancy Rapp is in the house. PJ, you are so right. Stayed out until the lights came on. Don't know what she was talking
Stay on the
about.
lights going on.
Ambrosino. Dottie? You know Dottie? No?
I do.
Okay. You do? This is amazing. Yep. Ridley represents. Yep. Ridley's
Let's
in the
go,
house
Dottie.
right now. Ridley is in the house
She's babysitting.
right now. She's babysitting for you right now?
Yeah. No, she used to babysit me when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Get out of here, man.
Yep.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Well,
It's
listen,
the same
man.
Dottie I'm thinking of.
We've been here long
Is it
enough.
an hour already?
Yeah, man, it's an
An
hour. Yes, sir. It's been an hour, Doc. And I hold true to my people. I got to bring you back on. That's all. That's no problem. We'll come back on and do another hour. Maybe we'll do something like we did when Hollis wasn't able to be on the show, and you and I sat
Okay.
and did one of the shows about the Eagles game and the
Yeah, it was
game
fun.
coming up. Maybe we'll do something after the draft is
Can I
over.
ask you a question?
Yeah, you can ask me a question. Yes, you can.
What do you feel about the moves they made so far?
First of all, I think we have to. We know Howie's history. Howie Rosenberg. We know his history.
Yep.
We know that he is very capable of putting a good product on the field. Every GM makes mistakes, but Howie is mostly has hit home runs,
And learns from his mistakes.
Yeah, he's and learns from his mistakes. I think Howie has a plan. We know he has, I think it's 8 draft picks in the first 4 rounds this year.
How about
He's
that?
got a first rounder, got a second rounder, 3 third rounders, and 3 fourth rounders in this
Unbelievable.
year. Yeah, I think he's got 22 picks in the next 2 years, two drafts. So when you win the way they did, win a championship, other teams want your players, other teams want your coaches. So we're gonna go through this every time we keep winning. We're gonna go through this.
Sure.
When you're on top, that's what happens.
Price you
They
pay.
seem to be able to do a good job. Nothing's happened to the offense. The offense thus far is intact. We have everybody offensive. I mean, Gainwell's gone, but he wasn't really a factor, and we got a new fullback. So
Green Bay,
everything's
right?
the same offensively. And the offense, I think, even with the new coordinator who was already there, I think things won't change totally. We'll still call or still have in place somewhat the same offense and just add more to it. So things should start off good for the offense when the season starts. Defensively, I have to look at it like this. Yes, we did lose players. We lost Sweat. We lost Williams. We lost Slay. They're guys that
DJ. Yeah.
did contribute that are gone. Yeah, CJ is gone. But when you look at all 3 levels, the line, the linebackers, and the DBs, we have our best player at every level still with
You're
the
right.
team. No, we have Zach Bond with the linebackers. We have Jalen Carter with the line, and we have Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean are both in the defensive backfield. So I think based on how they coached those guys up last year, because everybody's concerned about the defense right
None
now.
of those guys were superstars last year.
Exactly. We weren't like in this kind of position last year, mentally or psychologically, or thinking about the team, how we saw the team because of what happened the year before, how they fell apart. We were just hoping they would be better. We weren't sure about Quinyon Mitchell in terms of how he's going to turn out as a rookie. We weren't sure about Cooper DeJean, how he was going to turn out. They did great. Zach Bond, we were like, who the heck is that? We didn't even know who Zach Bond was last year at this time. He was on the team, but we didn't know who he was or how he's going to play. So there are some things that are answered that we have that we know that are good things. Jalen Carter, we had questions about Jalen Carter going into last year because he had not played. Yeah, he had not played like he played this past year. So we still have a bunch of players who were major contributors on the defensive side of the ball. Don't forget we have Vic Fangio, who put that defense together, who got them together and got them together in a way where they started playing cohesively. And they just progressively got better as the season went on and ended up being the number 1 defense in the league. The only issue or concern of mine with the defense is not just with the defense, but it's with the whole team. Anytime you lose guys and you bring other guys in, it changes some of the culture and it changes some of the relationships. And I say that because as we watch the Philadelphia Eagles advance through the season, this past season, they seemed, in my opinion, and what I could feel from them, they seem to become very, very cohesive. And it wasn't just me playing with my teammate. It was playing with a guy next to me that I really cared about. I know about his family. I know who he is. And there was a relationship built and a camaraderie built that you rarely get. But I could see it and sense it when they were on the field. and how they related to one another and played with one another and just continued to get better and better. And you saw it in the locker rooms afterwards when they were winning the games, how they were. Now, I wouldn't be naked, well, not naked, but I wouldn't be bare chest hugging somebody, but you saw them. Nothing wrong with it, but if I ain't have my shirt on, listen, you ain't got your shirt on, I ain't got my shirt on, I ain't hugging you. We get a hand slap, and that's it, but I ain't hugging you. They're hugging in a lot, but you could see the unification of that team and how they came together and that's what it was. It was a force. It was a whole team against Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, and Chris Jones. There were 3 people that were on that team for Kansas City that made a difference. And our whole team came in there and smoked them. So, no, I'm not concerned right now. It just started. Free agency just started. There's a long off season. We got the draft. And Howie's known, and they got some figuring out to do. I think they have to be wise in terms of the salary cap because, look, in 2 years, is it 2 years from now or next year, they're going to have to pay. Jalen Carter's going to be the highest paid player that's not a quarterback when he gets his contract.
No doubt.
Myles Garrett is right now, but it's going to be Jalen Carter in the next couple of years.
I think there's the issue or the factor that people aren't really talking about is the fact that Fangio is in a role where he doesn't want to leave.
Right.
And I think, right. And the league knows it, so he's not being offered.
Right.
And I think he is the reason, like there were guys that they weren't playing that position prior to last year that were just destroying people. And like you said, he built that up. So I think we run it back, and I think we're going to become a dynasty because of Fangio staying there and Howie Roseman and doing what he's doing. I'm not afraid at all, and I am not second guessing any of it. I'm a little surprised about CJGJ, but guy's been on 5 different teams in 5 years, so something's up there that we don't know about.
There's a reason.
Right.
I think, and this is just my opinion, and I have no facts or anything, but I just kind of sense that. We as fans, we love CJGJ, but I'm not so sure that he is looked at the same way from within the organization.
I feel the exact same way about it.
Yeah. So
he's a very likable guy, but there's something missing there. We don't know.
Well, did you listen to his speech when they had the parade? Didn't he speak?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't remember how it went.
It wasn't good for the kids. It wasn't good. It wasn't good for the kids.
Which, by the way, I don't think I cursed one time on this.
You didn't, but you could have if you wanted to. But I appreciate that. This is not a G-rated show.
Well, we call him the Phantom Pooper, for God's sake.
The Phantom Pooper. Yeah, I called him the Pooper. You didn't call him the Pooper. But
I did not.
I believe the Eagles have a window that's still open now. A lot of people think that it closed a little bit because of the players that they lost in the last few days. But no, I don't think it closed. I think they have this window that's open right now that will give them an opportunity to be a legitimate contender for a Super Bowl for the next 3 years. So they can possibly win another Super Bowl or 2 in the next 3 years. After that, it's going to be gone. Where'd he go? You froze up. He froze. Right at the end of the show. Go out and come back if you can hear me, PJ. Log off and log back in. Let me come to me. He's still he went out. Let's see if he comes back so we can say bye to him. Good to see everybody in the house tonight. This was a great show. I love that man. He's a great dude. If you guys get a chance to go by Dolan's down in Delco, stop by anytime. Ask for PJ. He's going to be, if he's not in the bar, he's right next door. He lives right next door. Say hi to him. And, it's a great crowd in there all the time. It's like a family. Sorry, the pork chop is gone now because he makes a great, great burger. Yes, he did freeze Eric Teal. I saw that he froze. But I'm not frozen. Yeah. That's the Delco. Steve said that's the Delco internet. It's the Delco internet. Yeah, probably. or I don't know if that's his phone or not. But he didn't come back, so I'll have to hit him back. We're getting ready to get up out of here. But y'all listen, this show, Dolan's Bar. Love you, pal. Irish hit goodbye. Listen, this show, The Fryar Place, is sponsored by Stolfish Structures. Outside living products, sheds, garages. They're out in the Amish country. You can check them out at mysheds.com, y'all. If you mention the Fryar Place or my name, you get 10% off of any purchase that you make through Stolfish Structures. I went out to the Amish country a couple of weeks ago and watched their whole, or got a chance to be exposed to their whole operation out there, man. It's unbelievable what they're doing, and what they do in order to advance the kingdom of God, which is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. They deliver all across the country, quickly, swiftly, with great quality products. Like I said, outdoor living products, sheds, garages, Stolfish Structures. You can find them on mysheds.com. That's mysheds with an S.com. Billy Bell, Dolan's Bar. Buy the shed. Buy a shed, people. Let's build bars. You know what? Who is that? He buy a shed, people. Dolan's Bar. Is that? I don't know if that's I don't know if that's PJ or not, but it says Dolan's Bar. Buy a shed, people. Stu Winrow. What's going on, Stu? You're a little bit late to the party, bro. But Eric Teal, Steve Costa's in the house. I'm just shouting you out before I get out of here. Christopher, the Moose Cunningham. Good to see you, Moose. Billy Bell, Loving My Destiny. Love you, my destiny. Love you, love you. Love you, loving my destiny. Let me see who else. I said Billy Bell. I said Christopher Cunningham. I got my Dolan's hat on, y'all. Steve Costa, my mama. Hey, mama. Delco Jesus, Tainted Rose in the house. Nancy Rapp, Dottie Ambrosino, James Monsanto, yes, Ed Crawley. Shout out to all of you. Delco Jesus, Vincent Capriati, Sarah Doheny, Eric Teal. I'm back at the top. Burmy 777. Beth Jurgens, Mrs. Jurgens, God bless you. Thank you for coming on tonight. Please tell Cam I said hello. Tell the rest of your family I said hello as well, too. Diane Danby. Thank you. Ed Danby was a regular. Dolan's back in the day of Granddad and Dad. Dory White. Cheryl Stevens in the house. Beth Jurgens. Shout out to you. Dottie Giebler. Shout out to you. Eddie Casper. Timothy Block. Mike. I can't say your last name, Mike. I don't know if you're still on. I'm sorry. You probably got up because I couldn't say your last name the right way. Stephanie Marie. Keenan Harmon is in the house. Y'all, listen, I'm out of here. We had a great time. I had a great guest tonight. That's my dude. Patrick PJ Dolan, Dolan's Bar. Third generation owner, Dolan's Bar in Ridley Park. Y'all go check him out. Listen, we'll be back next week, same time, same place, right here, 7 p.m. on Friday at the Fryar Place, where the conversations are fire, y'all. Listen, take care of yourself, take care of others, because you reap what you sow. We'll see you next week, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. All right. Take care. We're out. Peace.